Hey everybody, episode 10 of the Unbreakable Spirit Good here. Um, Actually it's the 11th episode, but the last episode, which I recorded yesterday, um, I mislabeled it as 11. It should have been 10. But this is actually 11, but I'm calling it 10. So it'll appear on YouTube as 10, but it's actually 11. So, but I just wanted to stop in and say hello today. I have a little time to record, so I thought I'd say hello and share a couple stories with you. Um, Today we were out at Easter shopping, Easter flower shopping, and that was cool. Got a lily for the living room and a couple hyacinths, smell just great. And they had tulips, daffodils out there, just all kinds of places at this gardener's, this nursery that we go to get her flowers. And even on a Monday morning, it was crowded. It was pretty crowded. So this is one of my best time of the year. You know, I always say Christmas time is my favorite time of the year, which it is. But I love the spring. There's nothing like springtime. It's a season of hope and renewal. And here in Pennsylvania, it's starting to get warm. Um, it's in the 60s today. It's very cool and refreshing. The sun is out, but it's supposed to get up to 73 tomorrow. So your boy right here will be on the deck, trying to get a little color in his pale face of his chest and stuff. So that should be cool. Hello, Bud. Bud is with us today. And so I love the springtime. I love Easter time. Happy Easter. I know happy Passover as well to my Jewish friends. And um, I love Easter. I know I'll be recording again before Easter time, Easter Sunday. When Easter comes around, I think of my mom. You know, I think of my mom often anyway. It'll be 10 years in August since she died. And not a day goes by that I don't think of my mom. And she was really good to me, and she took care of me when I was a kid with all these broken bones and fractures. And I don't know, she really sacrificed her life for me, and I could uh, never forget her, never thank her enough for what she did for me. And not only that, she gave me a lot of confidence and she always kept my spirits up. And if anyone is the unbreakable spirit in this family, it was her and my dad. So I miss my mom a lot. And I think of her a lot around Easter time. And one of the reasons was, well, my mom was a saint. She used to she had a lot of faith. And around Easter time, that was her time because every Friday she would go to the Stations of the Cross. And she was very faithful about that. And we kept the rules of Lent as a Catholic family growing up. And we knew no meat on Fridays. So we had pizza and macaroni and cheese and all that good stuff. That was okay. Okay. Um, and my mom during this week, Easter week, you know, Thursday, she'd been holding Thursday services and Good Friday, then Holy Saturday, Easter Sunday, usually 11 o'clock Mass. And but she really put a lot of time into going to church. And she loved going to church and dressing up for Easter, and everybody dressed up, suits and ties. You know, it wasn't like it is now where you just go to church with jeans on and stuff. That's okay. I guess the main thing is as long as you're there, church, right? But back in the day, it was very old school. You get dressed up for Easter time, and the ladies in their best spring dresses, and Easter bonnets were the big thing back in the day, you know. Not so much when I was growing up in the 70s, 60s, but before my time, we used to run into hats, things like that. So we used to like to get dressed up for this. That was fun. New spring clothes, right? Everything looked good. Now back in the 70s, I got to the 70s were really a weird time. I grew up in the 70s, and you weren't around for the 70s, you missed it. We had a lot of good times, but there were also a lot of weird times too. And one of the weird things about the 70s was the fashion. And one of the things about the 70s, which I'm not proud of, was the era of leisure suits. And so instead of wearing a suit and tie, a jacket and a tie, there was a time where guys were these really awful looking leisure suits. The jacket matched the cap, pants, and I had like a whole closet full of leisure suits, all pastel colors, springtime color, powder blue. Man, I think I had a yellow one. Why am I telling you? It's just embarrassing. But anyway, that was the style back then, believe it or not. With the open neck shirt, flowery shirt, guys would have them unbuttoned all the way down to the belly button, chains hanging on. Well, I didn't go that far, but I did have my share of leisure suits, and they were really, looking back on them, it was really stupid. Very colorful. It was like I was a big Easter egg. Yeah. Anyway, that was part of Easter time too. I was growing up as a kid. And of course, you had the Easter baskets, jelly beans, and the chocolate bunnies. Whenever I'd get a white chocolate thing, hi, Katie, cracking. But the funny thing is, as I get older, how our taste changes. And one of the things was white chocolate. I used to hate it when I was a kid. You got white chocolate in the Easter basket. Hate it. Now I love it. I love white chocolate. So now our taste changed. Now it's like cantaloupe. I kept standing when I was a kid. Now I love it. So anyway, the white chocolate, in Easter baskets and Easter egg hunts, and paint. I used to make all the Easter eggs in the family. I would hand paint them and I'd have my markers and stuff. In fact, we found them in the cellar. Can you believe this? There's a picture of my old painted Easter eggs in my book. These eggs were 40 years old. And they were pretty well preserved too, because they were down in the cellar. Nobody ever went down there. We found all these old Easter eggs. That brought back a lot of memories. So I was the artist in the family, and I painted all the Easter eggs, and everybody's name on it. And people didn't eat the eggs; they would keep them as souvenirs. Well, actually, I thought they kept them. They actually, without me knowing, because I guess they didn't want to hurt my feeling, they would slide them back on the table, give them to my mom. And she kept everything. She kept cards. She kept everything. And she kept these Easter eggs down in the cellar, which I never knew about until after she died. And so here I find all these Easter eggs that nobody ever knew. So anyway, but my mom, I remember my mom around Easter time because she used to make a lot of good food. And, our holidays revolve around food. Think about it. And my mom used to make, of course, the traditional Easter dinner: ham, potatoes, rice, macaroni salad. She always made. But she also made a lot of ethnic food. My mom was Slovak and Polish together. We grew up eating great because my dad was Italian, and so we had the spaghetti, the lasagna, And then we also had Katie, we had the ethnic food of my mom, such as Phil cabbage, which was called Belinda, and she would make for dessert poppy seed and nut roll, and little shinogi cookies, which were hard to describe, powdered sugar on them, and these little cherry cups, these little cups of dough to fill cherries, and blueberries. She made a whole tray of them, and a big roaster for Phil cabbage, like 50 of them at a time. You know, she would let them simmer overnight, and lots of that. To put the tomato paste on top, with tomato sauce or something, tomato juice, and smell that. Oh, so I miss that, And you can get that stuff around. Churches still sell for cabbage and food around the area, but it's not the same. So I miss that. Not having that around for 10 years. Well, I thought she was in the river somewhere in bed 3 years before she died. So just another part of mom illness. So one other thing, because I know I went pretty long yesterday. Sorry about that. I was a little woozy yesterday because I had a cold over the weekend. It wasn't COVID, but it was cold. I was taking some cold medicine, and I was like zonked out. But I wanted to do my Sunday sports show, but I looked at the video and it was like 43 minutes. I can't. So I promised myself that I would keep these videos a little short, between 15, 20 minutes. One thing I wanted to mention, I saw that Madonna is coming to town, and I wasn't a big Madonna fan in the 80s. The 80s were my decade. That was my decade. If you read my book, and Unbreakable Spirit, you know that. The 80s were my decade. That's when I went to college, when I went fun. I got over all the fractures when I was a kid, and I started to live a little bit. I used to started to get out a little bit, some fun. That was, my bones started to stabilize, and then it fractures went. So I got out in the 80s, then went to school, and met people, and went to, and remember the 80s because of one of the reasons with Madonna. She was everywhere. Madonna was everywhere you go. MTV, music on radio. Madonna was everywhere. I just didn't know how big Madonna. I knew Madonna was big. Okay, I knew it. But when I heard she was coming to Philly soon, I asked the lady, just out of curiosity, how much is Madonna's worth? How much do you think Madonna's worth? Madonna is worth $850 million, almost $1 billion. Can you believe that? I mean, she's worth more than Tom Hanks, Elton John, Billy Joel, these great actors. She's worth more than Streisand, I believe. And I wouldn't think she was because, Madonna wasn't a big song. That's where most of the musicians make their money. It's not only touring, but songwriting too, as well as performing and not selling records. So, but I knew she was the kind of tipping. So anyway, that's the kind of sound I would hear after I broke it over. And I hear these sirens. It's I talk about that in the book too. And that was always a freaking song. Hear these sirens and coming from you. Anyway, so back to the Dawn. I was never a big Madonna fan. I thought she was pretty. I thought just sexy. And I never really was a big Madonna fan. Anyway, the reason I'm talking about Madonna, other than her coming really makes me pause. I had another favorite female singer when I was growing up, and I still like her. So, do you remember the Go-Go's? They're still around. I love the Go-Go's. Belinda Carlisle was the lead singer of the Go-Go's. Really cute, good singer too. And I was a fan. I used to collect her CDs and stuff. I was a fan. In fact, you guys say, she's the Carlisle Go-Go's. I didn't know. Did you know that Belinda Carlisle was very good friends with George Harrison and the Beatles? In fact, George Harrison played on a few of her songs on one of the albums. They were good friends. So there's other big Beatles fan. I think most people are, and big George fan too. And so you know that George Harrison played on the little Carlisle's record and his friends. That's pretty good. Well, anyway, to make a long podcast short, went to see them in Carlisle a few years ago. It was up at Heads Peak, and went up there. It was the end of the summer. Got tickets. See, well, to see my girl. I live in Carlisle, right? Always loved it. Went up to see the show. She did a great show. She did a lot of solo stuff. She did mixed in some go-go stuff. The place was rocking. At the end of the show, she had people standing. It was an unbelievable concert. If she ever comes around your way, go see her. I know she's recording a new album too. Look out for it. Anyway, so here we are. We're going back to the car, right? Me and Tom. We're going back to the car. And I'm practically in the car. I'm halfway between my wheelchair and the car. I'm going across the front seat. We're on a transfer board, right? So the hoverboard without wheels. Going across there. And all of a sudden, we hear these people screaming and say, douching, especially. So I said to Holly, what's going on? And she's looking down the parking lot. So I think somebody said, there's Belinda. I said, let's go sit. So quick scoot back in my wheelchair. And I said, let's go down. Let's go to that maybe 100 yards down the parking lot. So she says, oh, I gotta get my phone. I left it in the car. She had a driver's door open, and it was really hot at night. We got out of the concert, and she said, this was probably about 10 o'clock at night. And she opened her driver's door and let some air in the car. All the stuff, and threw her phone in the car before she came around and helped me with my wheelchair. Well, anyway, she said, I gotta go back. I gotta shut the door. I gotta get my phone. I said, all right, I'll wait for you. Back. Meanwhile, all of a sudden, this guy comes up behind me, grabs the two arm thing, the handrails, or whatever it's called, on my chair. And says, hang on, buddy, I'll take you down there. Buckle up, buddy. So I said, what the hell is going on? So I'm hanging on to my chair because the parking lot was gravelly, full of little stones. There's this guy that, God bless him, whoever I don't even know his name, was pushing my wheelchair really fast through the parking lot, over these stones, down toward the fence where all this screaming and action was going on. So I'm going, because I'm hopping around, holding on to a wheelchair. I don't have a seatbelt. I'm pulling off the door, and so I'm flying. Meanwhile, Holly's in the back got there somewhere, getting the phone or whatever. So we get closer. There's like a down at the end of the parking lot, there's an opening, chain fence from the theater. There's I saw a white SUV that's parked inside of the fence. And we see, okay, that's where all the stars park, and then they leave, right? Well, there was a group of people out, they were dispersed. Apparently, Belinda was there taking pictures, signing autographs. Well, we were too late. She already signed a few. She left. She looked back through the fence, and she was taking them. Fans were dispersed, right? The guy goes, I'm sorry, buddy, we just missed you. And I said, well, that's it. I said, just leave me here. Don't take me down. Please don't try to. I said, I'm going to wait for Polly to come. Thanks a lot. Blah, blah, blah. God bless you. So anyway, I'm waiting there in the fence. It was driving, and this SUV starts to pull out real slow. And there's just a couple of people still coming. And I said, well, maybe she's in there, one car lot. So I want to wave her, right? The windows were all tinted, so I couldn't see inside. I said, well, just in case she's in there, I'm just going to wave to her. Okay. Right? So I wave. All of a sudden, I hear a voice coming out of the SUV. Do you want a picture? I don't know who it was. So I said, yeah, sure, I'd appreciate that. Thanks. And I thought, well, if that's Belinda, if that's part of the entourage, maybe she's going to go on the candy what he needs. He signed, photograph, pictures or cards or whatever. And that's cool. It's cool. All of a sudden, get this. The SUV stops, the front door opens, and out comes Belinda Carlisle herself. She comes over me. And the first thing she says is, there are people who see her coming out of the SUV, and they start running back down the hill toward the driveway. And she yells, no, 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 I'm only doing this one. But she had gone way away. So she bends down and she looks at me, and I'm looking at her as far as I'm looking at the screen. This close. I don't look into her face. This is Belinda Carlisle, the person that I loved for a long time. She was right close to me. She's smiling. She's not saying much, but I say to her, oh, I'm looking at her like that. With mounted eyes. I said, hi, I'm Greg. Like she kicked her. So anyway, she looks at me and just smiles. She doesn't see me, but that's okay. And she's bent down, and with the guy who pushed me in the wheelchair down the parking lot, my buddy, whoever the hell it was, takes a picture, takes another picture. He goes, let me take one more picture on top. So he takes the pictures, not a word said. She looks at me and smiles. Back into the SUV she goes, zoom, right down the driveway, and she's in. Holly comes running me up. She said, I missed it. Was that her? And I'm like, huh? Where am I? What just happened? I was in a daze, dazed and confused. And I still like thought of it. Was it, did that really happen? Is that really her? The person that I just saw on stage? Well, it was. And my friend, who was driving, he texted me the picture. So on the way back home, then got the pictures in the book. It was cool. Most of the pictures were just me, like staring and at the window part of them. And there's one where she's smiling at the camera, and another one where she's looking. Anyway, so that's why I lived the car story. So never touched her. She never said anything to me. But you know what? You know what I took out of the story? She was a very nice person. And people have been very, very kind to me, very nice to me. And that's one thing I always forget. You know, you know how people can be nasty to each other, right? You know, for the most part, people have been very, very kind and caring to me, and I appreciate that. Someday we'll talk about when people stare at you, see nasty things, telling you how to react, how to deal with that. Maybe it'll help someone else out there. But I have to say, for the most part, people have been cool. And she didn't have to do that. She didn't have to stop doing surgery. She didn't have to ask me if they wanted the picture. But she did. She came out and took the picture. Let everybody take the picture with my son. So, and that's, you know what? That's a good example, because if you go that extra step, I learned that as a social worker for a long time. If you go that extra step for someone, people never forget that, you know. So that's an unforgettable thing. So no matter what about Belinda Carter, I'll always remember that movie when I got the movie. I'll have those shivers there. So Belinda, if you're out there listening to this, I love you. Thanks a lot for stopping and saying hi to this. Well, I'm going to leave now. It was nice talking to people, and I hate them. I didn't want to just say, you people, see, I hate them. I always hate people who call other people them people. I hate them. I hate them. I didn't say it. I take them. But I'm not going to edit it out, because we all make mistakes, and we all say stuff we think so. To my friends, my friends, it's been nice talking with you. I hope to do another one of these sometime this week, and we'll have some more stories to share, and we'll talk more. Okay? Still trying to get some guests on the program. If you want to be on the program, hit me up on Twitter or send me an email at gapsmith1.verizon@verizon.com. And I'm on the program, and I'll shoot things. And if you have an inspirational story you want to share that other people are going to take some hope from, please come on and share with me. Okay. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. And go Phillies. Hey, they lost their first 3 games this year. But they are playing in New York, playing the Yankees, starting tonight. And let's hope that these things will win on the before we come again. Phillies, please start to get serious. Okay? Do it for me. Do it for the girls. All right. I'll talk to you guys again. Thanks for watching. Take care. And tune in again to Unbreakable Spirits. Thanks.